I believe we're live.
Looks like it. We've
Yes.
got a yellow dot.
Yeah. Yeah. The yellow dots appeared, so now we're talking to the internet. So, hello everybody. It's Elsa Nation here. I was going to hopefully get Spud on the show, but Spud is literally the hardest man in the world to tie down, unless you're his girlfriend, in which case he'll probably enjoy that. So it's just me tonight, but luckily I've managed to get hold of Mr. Rick from Lion Tower Miniatures, so we get to have a bit of a chat about the new Kickstarter, which I am so excited for. And I've been excited for a while. I think ever since I saw the stuff at the UK Games Expo, I think I've been excited about this Kickstarter till like since then. So yes, Mr. Rick, how are you doing today?
Good, good.
Awesome.
Excited and good. Counting down the days.
Yeah. Been busy, I'm guessing, with setting up the
Yeah. I think last time from Tony from May we've been non-stop. We've not stopped. Yeah. We've got extra factions now, so we've been busy.
Yeah, I've seen some of the previews, and yeah, again, I was excited, and now I'm more excited, and every sort of week goes by, I get a little bit more excited. Yeah, it's bonkers. So it's because you've got Dan, who I'm hoping we're going to get on the show at some point as well.
Dan
Possibly.
doesn't really like doing interviews. We kind of threw him under the bus at the expo. And made him do why he didn't like them. So yeah, well, he could try, but he won't say much. He
I
pokes at me.
I will endeavor to keep on trying to bring him on the show. He is Dan is the other member of Lion Tower Miniatures. Is there anyone else that's
No,
involved?
it's just the two of us.
Just two. You are the rules writer, and what else do you do with it? It's mainly the rules.
I'm more of the world creator, games designer.
Awesome.
So I come up with things in my head. Our illustrators make them into pictures,
Cool.
and Dan makes them real.
Cool. So
Yeah.
you're the beginning spark, effectively.
Yeah, I have to get reined in a lot though. There's a lot of things I want to do, but Dan says no, I'm not allowed.
Oh,
It's
well,
beyond the
yeah.
realms of possibility.
Well, I'm guessing that's the whole joys of partnership. At the end of the day, it's a collaborative effort. So sometimes, yeah, and I know Dan because I've spoken to Dan a bit as well. I know sometimes he does stuff which I'm pretty sure you're not overly keen on, and I'm referring to a giant chicken at this point.
We've compromised on the battle chicken. I get a nice my only version of a Jarl
Yeah,
standing on a dead battle chicken, and that's how he basically sweetened everything getting into the game. But to be fair, the initial idea I wasn't massively sold on.
sure.
All
Yeah.
the videos he showed me of them, I was definitely not sold on. But once we sat down and we sort of planned the mounted paladins, and we sort of brainstormed how to do it and everything else, then once the earlier sort of renders and things were done, I slowly started to come round. They are kind of cool. Very much enjoying writing the rules for them.
Yeah.
And the background for them and everything else. But yeah, initially I wasn't. It's a giant chicken. Yeah.
We'll show you pictures of the giant chicken later, but if anyone's played Final Fantasy, you'll find a very strong akin to.
It is not a chocobo.
It's not. I like the addition of the raptor claw at the bottom.
Yeah, well, we come up with the name Raptor for them because it sounds far cooler than chocobo or shit and chicken, and very come up with. Raptor sounds good, and plus they are a combat animal.
Yeah.
So they're sort of bringing the razor like claws and things into it, sort of give them a function on the battlefield rather than just being a pretty mount.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's an element to that because if you were to translate that into current day world, if you were riding an ostrich, yeah, it could probably
Yeah,
kick you, but
I reckon they do. Well, that's
yeah,
basically what they are. It's
yeah,
an ostrich with claws.
yeah, a big, big,
Yeah,
big claw. Um,
armored.
yeah, and armored with an armored knight on the back as well.
Yeah,
Which, yeah, if you ever see it, you'll love it when you see it. So, yeah. But yeah, so you're the original, effectively Spark. It goes off. Have you got like a third party illustrator that you do for the
yeah.
concepts?
We've got a couple of artists that do stuff for us. Obviously, as the company grows and Wrathborn expands and everything else, then we will start bringing people in for more full time. But
Hmm.
at the moment, we're too small for that, and it's easier just you know
Sure,
contracting it out and then bringing it in as freelance work.
sure.
But obviously, the dream is to have our own team
Mhm.
working under us effectively. But we always have to start somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's also it's also worth mentioning as well. Wrathborn isn't the only thing that you guys do as well. There's also a set of D&D minis, which I think you're going to be expanding on that range as well.
We plan to do it in February, but we've got slightly alternative plans for next year.
Okay,
But we will be expanding the RPG range after a lot of really great feedback from the expo.
cool.
We generally, a lot of what we found is people were asking for obviously different races other than human.
Sure, yeah.
And the two most popular that we were getting back was the Dragonborn and Halfling. So
Yeah.
we're probably going to run a small Kickstarter next year, probably in and around the summertime, for a handful of minis, not 34. Not doing that again. There'll be probably around about 10, five of each,
Sure.
different sort of archetypes, and there'll be Dragonborn and Halfling.
Yeah.
Probably, depending on time constraints, we may do male and female versions, but we'll see how we progress over the
Yeah,
course of the year.
because I remember speaking to Dan at the expo, and he was saying about how the Kickstarter was going really well when you were doing the
Yeah,
initial one, but he used the comment "sausage fest" was thrown around a lot. So,
yeah, yeah.
so
We Dan had the original plan of having a few female versions anyway,
sure,
but the original idea was to do that as a separate Kickstarter.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And obviously, the general comments from the backers, it kind of sort of, well, here's a stretch goal. And by the time we realised what we'd done, we were on 34 miniatures, and we were like, it's gonna. And to be fair, it has knocked us back a lot.
Mhm.
It has been delayed a year. We did have production problems. We completely naive in thinking that how this all worked, um, and we completely forgot that Robert Hysterical Games
Mhm.
had other clients,
Yeah,
and the run up to Salute and everything else knocked us back. And then we had the issues. We're trying to our base suppliers stopped speaking. We had to resource them. So there's been lots of little issues,
yeah,
which has been great for Wrathborn because we've been able to iron all of that out.
yeah.
So now our production and manufacturing side is sorted.
Nice.
So now we just need to make sure we stick to the plan.
Yeah.
Can't deviate off the plan.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing the Kickstarter will tell what the plan is at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So, but yeah. So I've been waffling on about all this stuff. We haven't really explained what Wrathborn is and what it's about yet. So, for everyone that has no real clue about Wrathborn yet, could you give us a quick little synopsis of what Wrathborn's about and why you should go to the Kickstarter when it gets released in it's next week, isn't it?
yeah, Tuesday next week.
Tuesday next.
Um, it's a fantasy skirmish game, single model activation, using a D10 system. Uh, the game is designed to get both players playing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to do your turn, and I'm just going to sit there for half an hour and watch you like other games. You'll be rolling dice, and I'll be rolling dice. It's very fast. The combat feels as though there's actually a combat taking place, and it's built around about one-on-one combats. There is magic. It's got a very heavy Dark Age feel.
Okay, yeah.
But with obviously a lot of high fantasy elements brought into it as well. So it is fun. It's got a very in-depth background. Dan will describe it as Game of Thrones-esque with a lot of layers upon layers with twists and turns left, right and centre. But I've been writing it for the better part of 6 years, so there's a lot of it. There's a lot.
That's really cool. So the first two factions, which have you got any of the pre-order kits left, or they've all gone now?
They've all gone.
All right. Okay, so you can't get any of the pre-order kits, so you've got to go to the Kickstarter to get these now.
Yeah.
There are the Nordrassil. Is that how you?
Nordrassil and the Children of the Shah is their technical faction name.
Yeah.
The Lycan Fiends are a sub-faction of the Children of the Shah.
Yeah. And if you're not sure, because I know a lot of people may not know what Lycan Fiend refers to, it's basically kind of werewolves. And so if you want to put in a simplistic term, it's Vikings versus werewolves. It's the starting point. Which
it's not initially what I intended, but apparently that's what people recognise the game as. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. So I've got some more questions, but I've got a couple of people in the chat. Someone's just asked a question as well. So we've got Graham Rigg in the chat. Kilroy V2, hello. Peter Higgins says, "Hey, Elston and Rick." Peter Higgins comes in with a question saying, "What scale are the minis?"
32 mil. 32, 35, depending on what they're stood on. To our largest currently is 120 mil.
Yeah, so they'll be bigger than your standard sort of Space Marine if you wanted a Games Workshop equivalent.
Yeah, they're about the same size. Yeah. The Lycan Fiends are slightly bigger than a Primaris.
Yeah. Now I've painted some of them, and they are gorgeous minis. So if it's basically got my seal of approval on them because I love them. I just need to get my friend over who's got the other set to actually doing some game testing. So this leads us on to the other bit. There are beta rules out already for Wrathborn?
Yes, there are beta rules. The core rules for the game are there. There are a couple of things the proofreaders missed, and that is currently being fixed. We'll do an updated version shortly. We'll hopefully get it for probably the first couple of days of the Kickstarter. Cool. And there should be a scenario pack coming as well, which will give you the first 6 core scenarios for the game. They'll be used for general open play as well as competitive play. So your typical objective type games, kill games, stuff like that. We have a stretch goal for the Kickstarter, which will be for the full campaign rules, and I don't remember off the top of my head, there's what 8 or 9 narrative scenarios and ways of linking them together to create effectively a narrative campaign. That's going to be one of the stretch goals. We've kept it out of the main rules because it's about an additional 15 pages for the book.
Right, gotcha.
So obviously it kind of bumps us into a different bracket when it comes into printing.
Yeah.
So it's there as a stretch goal.
Fair enough. So I'm just having a quick scroll through the Facebook page so I can find some people some miniature pictures. I'm going to do a little bit of self-promoting here because I'm very, very humble. And yeah, I will show the what the minis basically look like. So these are the Lycan Fiend, and these are painted by yours truly.
Very good job on them.
Oh, thank you. I painted this one a different color originally, and then the whole concept of Red Riding Hood came into play, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to do that color. So, but yeah, these are the Lycan Fiends. For metal minis, they go together really, really well because usually you get some issues with metal ones. They don't always completely click together or fit together properly. But these ones are, yeah, they're beautiful. So yeah, but these are the Lycan Fiend. So this is one of the factions. And we could go on through those all day, but I will move us up to, because again, I have some more selfless promoting to do. And there was a rumor down there for something else. Is I was particularly proud of this guy, to be fair. I liked him.
Yeah, I like the Wild Mini. He's a pretty cool mini.
Yeah, what I like about these minis is there's a kind of clear definition to them. So a lot of the minis, when they get super detailed and stuff like that, it's hard to get some nice shading. It's hard to see the clear definition because there's too much going on. They become too busy. Whereas these are busy, but not to the point where it ruins the minis. You can clearly still define. So, for example, the muscle tones on this dude, you can see where the shield, the head. There's a lot of hair going on around this guy. I have to admit, I for a couple of seconds I was like, which bit's bear, which bit's fur. It does. I'll see if I can find a picture of like the back of him. But yeah, there's a lot of hair going on with that guy. But yeah, they are really nice minis to paint. And as I said, they go together really well. And these are the Nordrassel.
Yep.
I keep on saying that with a weird kind of Norway inflection on it, Nordrassel, for some odd reason. I don't know why. But probably been watching too much Vikings. But yes, so those are Faction 1 and Faction 2, which are kind of people. Some people have their hands on already, and some people do not, so they'll have to get involved in the Kickstarter. But there are 2 more factions. So I'm going to have a scroll through and see if I can find. Also, as well, there's painting tutorials for these, done by yours truly again, because I'm a selfless promoter. So here is part of Faction 3, I guess we call it. Who are these guys?
These guys are the Kingdoms. The Kingdoms are a non-magical faction.
Right, gotcha.
They don't have element walkers like the others do. They're a sort of European feudal type system. Mm-hmm. The Paladins are military orders. They operate outside of the royal family's jurisdictions. They do their own thing. They kind of protect the borders of the kingdoms. The kingdoms is actually made up of 4 individual kingdoms that basically there's a lot of politics involved on who gets the main throne. There's a lot of intermarrying. There's a lot of intrigue, murder, military coups, and various other stuff going on in there. So yeah, sometimes they do go to war with each other.
Right.
A lot of the time they'll be out trying to expand their borders, but they hate anything that's not human, and which is what the Paladins basically strive to achieve. Basically, it's not so just human; it's mostly magic users. So element walkers are on the top of their to be killed list.
Oh, okay, right. So yeah, the hunted, I guess. So I'm guessing this is the Game of Thrones element kind of full swing.
Yeah, sort of your typical English sort of court type thing. War of the Roses.
Sure, yeah.
War type stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and here's some pictures by a famous painter painting them as well, which are just like puts me to shame. So yeah.
He's done an amazing job on them. They are mind blowing.
Yeah. So if you know of Angel Heraldez, this is him, a work in progress, and we'll get to them. This was what I was talking about earlier. Check that out. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's the Raptor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously there's still a few fine tunings to be done on it before it's signed off, but it's about 80% done. It won't change much from the final version. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I'm guessing these are going to be in units. They're not going to be well, it is a skirmish game, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah, everything's single model, so they will be on their own. You'll be able to just take one of them.
Okay.
If you really want to.
Yeah. But if you're like me, you're probably going to have more than one because they're just cool. So, yeah, they're awesome. And this is Mr. Heraldez a little bit further on with the painting. And I'm gonna claim this a little bit. Some of these color schemes look an awful lot like my color schemes, so I'm going to take the original credit for this one. So but yeah, this is like that blue though. I was just like, oh, I should have done it that color.
Out of all of the ones he's done, the Omega and the Shadow Stalker are my two favorite. The Shadow Stalker is just beautiful.
Yeah,
really awesome.
Yeah, it's just cool. It's just cool. Sorry, I'm literally just scrolling up the Facebook page here. This is faction number 4. This is the one I am literally dribbling over to try and get hold of and see more about because I'm just like super excited about this. Do you want to tell us a bit more about this one?
These are the Jade Empire. That particular guy is a Jade Warrior. They are heavily based on Japanese samurai culture, but they are they have a sort of a dragon blood purity thing going on. So obviously, the purer your blood, the more dragon-like you are, the higher up the food chain you are. So, likes of the shinobi, they're lowborn who are kidnapped as children.
Right, gotcha.
Into a temple. They're kind of tampered with, so they're not element walkers, but they're able to manipulate the shadows and do lots of crazy stuff and assassinate people, and they're generally
assassins,
sort of covert assassins, so to speak. But the geisha, on the other hand, are the same as the shinobi, but they're sort of overt. You kind of don't see them coming. They'll be sent in to kill a lord, but once everything goes tits up, they're literally killing machines because they're designed that way. The actual Jade Warriors look down heavily upon the actual temple itself. They don't like them. They don't agree with them because they are effectively commoners, peasants, killing nobility, and they don't like it. They do not like it at all.
You see, there's a very classist kind of thing going on with this lot. So the more pure blood you are, the higher up you are in the ranking, effectively. So
well, if you can sort of make out the horns and things in the artwork for the Jade Warrior. So the more heavily up the sort of purity, the way they see it, the more of a special thing you are.
Yeah. But I'm guessing each one of these has their own roles to play, even though these are effectively not as respected as the samurai. As you say, the more pure-born lads a lot. So, here's some info on the Kickstarter as well. So, starts at 8 p.m. GMT on the 2nd of October, which is next Tuesday. With the Kickstarter itself, we had a brief look at the actual page. We'll have a look in a second, but I know there's a picture up here I really want to see just while we're going on about the Jade Empire. And again, I'll show you these. These are the finished ones as well. But there's a sneak peek. There's a sneak peek. There it is. Look at that. Yeah. So what's this guy about?
This basically shows the pure blood system in perfect harmony, really. As you can see, he's more dragon than human. So he's clearly at the top of the food chain. His rank, he's a sort of territorial leader, province leader. He controls an army underneath him of Jade Warriors. He answers directly to one of the two shoguns. The shoguns are the only ones who speak to the Dragon Council, because the Jade Empire are controlled by a council of 7 dragons, and their god, Taktoa, who is the dragon god. So he's still around. When you go through the background, you'll learn about the Pantheon and how they created the world of the sort of mortal realm. And not all of them left. Some of them have stayed behind. Taktoa being one of them. And this is one of his creations, his children, the sort of speak.
Nice. So there's a possibility of actually getting full-blown dragons in this game as well.
Yes. Well, the way the dragons work in Wrathborn is if they stay in the Jade Empire, they are they've got intelligence. They're very much like how you imagine dragons in fantasy films.
Sure.
They can speak, they can communicate, and everything else. But once they leave, they start to revert to being more like animals.
Oh, okay.
So the dragons that you see flying around the world are feral. They've lost their intelligence and their sort of
their ability to communicate.
They've just become wild animals by that point.
Oh, cool. That's cool. So you get 2 different types of dragon. You get kind of smart ones and not smart ones. So these are the finished works by Mr. Heraldez, and dear Lord, just dear Lord, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It puts me to shame. I was just like, oh, yeah. But like, that's cool. I didn't even think of doing that. But I didn't even think of doing it in blue, to be fair, so nah. Yeah. They are I like the way he's I know this is really odd, but I like the way he's done the grass. I don't even think he's done a lot there, but it's it looks a bit like grass, so I'm like, that's cool. Yeah, they're just cool. They're just cool. Like the little bits of blood and stuff like that. It just adds,
I noticed that.
It just adds another element.
I was actually to see them in person.
Yeah, are they getting sent back to you?
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, that's going to be cool. So these are going to be the box art, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Sweet.
They'll be on nice, pretty cabinets when we go to the UK Games Expo.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, that is them. Now, I've ogled over minis and stuff like that for a little while, so we're going to go over to the Kickstarter side of things now. Before we do that, though, just stop screen sharing. I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat and see what they say. Kilroy says, been a while since I've been able to catch one of these live chats. Peter Higgins, any plans for the new mini range, mainly Dragonborn, to be a playable faction? I'm guessing within Wrathborn, probably a no, but maybe they can tie in with the Jade Empire.
Are you talking about the Dragonborn for the RPG?
Yeah.
We've talked about writing rules for some of the models, but one of the things we are working on is a sort of dungeon crawler board game, and I'll start that in November after the Kickstarter. Okay. And that will sort of introduce a whole new level of things for Wrathborn and the world of Wrathborn itself, and introduce you to a selection of characters and a very shady, influential organization in the world known as the Adventurers Guild. I don't really want to go too much into it because they'll be mentioned in the rulebook, but the actual Talarius itself will explain who they are and what they are and why they're kind of a bit dodgy and sinister.
Okay.
But the heroes that you'll meet, there's a couple of cool ones. So yeah, we may use some of the RPG stuff as sort of inspiration for new characters for that. in terms of one of the characters that I will say is we'll have One Eye, which is actually a lichen.
Oh, cool.
He is a lichen who's trying to become civilized, or believes he's civilized. So he wears clothes, he walks around with a monocle. He kind of speaks. He tries to use a knife for all the things. It kind of doesn't always go his own way. His animalistic nature does come out, and he does stuff that kind of don't expect him to do.
Okay.
We do. A friend of mine is an author, and he is currently writing short stories using the Adventurers Guild as a sort of basis, and One Eye is one of the characters for it, and he is kind of cool.
Nice. I surprisingly, I read that comment out, and I looked down. There's another comment. It says, "Never mind my previous question. The Dragon Samurai will do very nicely." So,
yeah. I think probably out of all of them, they're probably going to be the one I'll be playing the most. Technically wise, they're going to push. They're going to push our abilities, especially the picture I just sent you on Facebook as one of our stretch goals. You can have that exclusive right now.
This is like I've been warned about this. So hang on. Right, hang on. Hang on. Alright, you get to see a bit of the insight to my own Facebook. Right, go back to screen share. And you're there. And we're gonna bring this up. Oh no, come back. Where'd you go? See, and this is concept art, which probably means there's probably a mini to follow at some point. Yes, yeah. This is like the faction that I like. I liked the Vikings versus werewolves, and I got super excited about it. And then they introduced the kingdom thing, so I was like, yeah, maybe not really my to start. And then the Chicken Riders showed up, and it was like, I'm all into these guys now. And then the Jade Empire got shown, and it just became like, yep, they're my favorite. They are my favorite. However, I know there's a big old werewolf on the way as well, which is
the one.
Yeah, so there's a big werewolf on its way as well. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna lose so much money on this Kickstarter.
The Dragon Worm will be probably on a 90mm base.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be big, but not gigantic.
Yeah. He'll be around about the same size as the Snow Troll. Steve Cornish has done a very good job with the art, and the old Goldfish of Justice. But I'm intrigued to see how Dan sculpts that. I think technically and how we're going to break it down for casting and stuff, that's going to definitely push our boundaries of what we have been capable of doing.
Sure.
So there's a technical point that's going to be a fun one to do. Not for me. I've done my bit. Dan, that's all Dan's realm.
Yeah.
How he pulls that one off, I don't know yet, but I'm going to be intrigued to watch how he does it.
The logistics of that might be an interesting one to put together. But hey, well, here's hoping it comes out. So, there was actually another question from Kilroy saying, "Are these models going to be metal?"
Yes, they metal and resin.
Metal.
So everything basic human size up to the alpha will be metal. Anything that goes beyond the alpha will be done in resin, purely because it would be mental to do it in metal. So like to the Dynamo, he will be in resin because of the size of that model.
Sure.
He will be bigger than the alpha by a lot.
Yes, that's fair. More just for weight and not killing children if it drops on.
I think there's no reason for us to go back to the mid-90s where we get a huge metal and then you spend a week pinning it together. So no, resin. We have resin. Let's use resin.
Yeah, sure, sure. E-Tron's in. He says we like dragons. Yes, we do. And Underdog Peyton's in the house saying, "Hey, peeps." So, I'm trying to track down as well the picture of the snow troll because I thought we had one of those at some point. Uh,
Uh,
I can't remember if it was on the Facebook page somewhere.
I believe there was pictures of it on the Wrathborn Facebook page.
Yeah, so I'm having a gander to see if I can. Oh, there they are. Right, hang on a sec. I'll share my screen again. These are pictures from the UK Games Expo, I believe, actually. Uh, yep. And they are. And there may be a render somewhere else, but this is kind of good one to see the scale of the
Yeah,
troll because that's huge.
he is huge. But we found it quite funny because we finished printing him the Saturday night,
Right, gotcha.
and the actual base itself will be a full 90 mil base for him to stand on. But in our rush to get it printed and cleaned up for the show so we could reveal it, we one of the parts, because the base will come in four, well, it won't come in four parts for you, but for us for manufacturing, it comes in four parts. We didn't scale it correctly, so it printed at the wrong scale. As
All
you
right.
can see, the front one, it's a little bit thicker than the others.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we couldn't put the full base on, so we had to, sort of do the best we could and,
Sure.
sort of like that. But yeah, we're very pleased with how he's turned out. I think from the top of the bone down, he's about 100 mil, 120 mil.
Right.
He is an absolute monster.
Yeah, and I'm guessing pretty much most of the factions will have something akin to this to a
Yes,
degree.
yeah.
Uh,
The Nodrass will have got him. The Lycan Fiend, Children of the Shah, will have the Warg.
hmm.
The Kingdoms have something known as the Crusader,
Okay.
and the Jade Empire obviously have the Dragon One.
Yep, sure. So, yeah, if you like your monsters as well, yeah, not skimping out on that side of things. So, but while we're here and we're looking at screen sharing, let's have a look at the draft of the Kickstarter. Because this isn't live yet, but this is so you can get a bit
But
of a
yeah,
sneak peek of what it will look like.
the
And
videos missing.
yes, yeah, it's videos and there's a few graphics missing and stuff like that. So it's a little bit rough and ready. So just bear that in mind. It's not completely done yet, but you get to see what's going to happen. Are these accurate of what you'll be getting, or are these kind of just a rough put together?
No. They should be 100% from what they are. Yeah.
Cool. So, if you guys, if you want to check this out in your own time and everything like that, go over to the Wrathborn official group on Facebook. Is there on another page at all, or
I
best
think we
place?
shared it on the Lion Tower page, the Wrathborn page, and I shared it into the Wrathborn group. Yeah.
Sure. So, if you get stuck and you really get lost with it, drop me a message or something like that, and I'll track it down for you. But yeah, or type Wrathborn into Facebook and you should find it. So, but yeah, here's the pledges. You get £1 for a wanderer, so you're just helping out. Pledge 15 quid for a Jarl, which is cool. It's a limited edition one. Pledge 40 quid. One of the factions and a book, or is it just one of the factions?
£40 you basically get the starter set.
Mm-hmm.
The £60 pledge you'll get a rule book and a starter set. So
Gotcha.
there's a bit of a saving across the board on everything. I think we've pretty much shaved £5 off every item. So
Cool.
you do get obviously a little bit of a discount across the board for the Kickstarters.
Cool. So, and then we've got pledge of £90 or more for, and this is the one I'm aiming for if I can grab it because yeah, that one works for me. But so there are early bird ones as well. So if you are keen on it, yeah.
There's two early birds for the Warband and the Warhorse. There'll
Yeah.
be 100 of each.
Yeah. So if you want to go, I will probably say if you're going to do the Warhost one, if you're a collector, fair enough at the end of the day. But if you're thinking 170 quid's quite a bit, maybe might be worthwhile. See if you get some other people involved, and yeah, go quit like twos in, threes in, fours in, whatever on it, and pick the faction you want out of it. With these as well, are you allowed to pick multiples of the same faction?
Yes, you'll pledge, and when it comes to the pledge manager, that's when you'll choose which of the faction starter sets you want.
Cool.
And some of the stretch goals will give Kickstarter backers a few additional miniatures for that faction starter set. Obviously, that kicks in at the £100 level onwards, because that's where most of the sort of the bundle is. So I think one of the first stretch goals we've got is we add an additional warrior to all of the starter sets. That'll include the two factions that we haven't unlocked yet.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So if you do the £100 warband pledge, you'll get 2 additional miniatures. If you do the 180, or you get yourself an early bird, you'll get 4 additional miniatures. So there are a few little freebies that we will be throwing in across the board as well.
Sure. Yeah, which is just awesome because your co-conspirator has been messaging me whilst we've been doing the show because I believe he's watching as well.
Oh, he's keeping me. That's not surprised.
Yeah, and he said throw these buggers up. So I'm going to show you some more pictures. So here's a render. So if the yellow was throwing you off a bit, that's what the render looks like. It's still just awesome. I can't wait to paint one of those up. And also, what I was glad he sent me is a picture of this.
Wow.
Which is a big old werewolf. So if you are, it was, it's at the Games Expo. He showed me a sneak peek of this in work in progress, and I was just like, "You are kidding me!" There's a giant werewolf. He's like, "Yeah."
Well, there's a bit of a story behind how his pose has come about. When we did the Shadow Stalker, and we showed her out, and we showed her off online, and we were very, very, very pleased that we got a female miniature in the line, that she looked the way she did, and we were over the moon with her. I mean, both of us agree she's one of our favourite. When Beast of War shared it, a couple of the comments were along the line of, "There's a lot of foot on rock syndrome." So when we found that quite funny. So when we were discussing how we were going to do the warg, we come up with foot on tree. So we thought we not only put our foot on the tree, we'll snap the tree in half as well. It's we thought we'd go all out. But again, he will be a big boy. He'll be on a 90mm base. He'll be pushing the 100mm mark. It's not going to be a little kit. And again, I think once it becomes an actual physical miniature, it will look a lot more impressive than what the render's actually doing its justice.
Yeah, and plus you'll be able to see like 360s of what this like. I've only got a couple of pictures here, so but yeah, it's going back to the Kickstarter page. As you can see, this gives you a little bit of a blurb about them and what's what. You can see renders again, so you can see what's happening. So yeah, if you do want to see these or give a read up on this beforehand, go check it out on the Facebook page. You can check out critique is welcome. But obviously you've only got till about Tuesday, well, probably before Tuesday, because that's to polish off before then. So if you've got any suggestions of stuff to try or do, get the suggestions in before, well, ideally before Tuesday. And then it should be ready to rock and roll then. So right, I'm just going to stop sharing, bring us back to where we are. I'm going to have a quick look at the chat and see what is happening in the Hales. So Peter Higgins, So are all four factions coming to the Kickstarter, or just the Vikings versus the Lycans? Just read the part on the Facebook of the Warhost page saying 4 starter faction boxes. So are the Jade Empire and the Kingdoms, are they going to be stretch goals or like
They are
unlocks?
stretch goals, yeah. They we will. I think the first one that we'll be putting out will be the Kingdoms,
Hmm.
and then we'll hopefully or touch wood, we
Yeah.
will unlock the Jade Empire as well. Now we have a contingency for whatever we do not unlock.
Hmm.
In February, we will be running an Indiegogo campaign.
Okay.
Because of obviously the RPG Kickstarter pushed us back a little bit, and we haven't had time to get all of the stuff done that we actually really wanted to be done for the Kickstarter. And out of doing a little bit of sort of platform research, we've kind of worked out that you've got your Kickstarter crowd and you've got your Indiegogo crowd, and then you've got a very small percentage of people that use both.
Right.
So we've
Gotcha.
got potentially two markets there that we can't really sort of tap into. So what we're going to be doing in November, February, is we're going to be launching the Indiegogo campaign, and it will be whatever we don't unlock in the Kickstarter
Hmm.
will be unlocked in February, and we have a loads of additional stuff that we plan to have for next week, but haven't had time to unlock then. Now, some people may accuse us of trying to double dip. That is not the case. What the whole thing will be is the Kickstarter backers will have access to everything from the Indiegogo campaign, and the Indiegogo backers will have everything from the Kickstarter. Everyone will come together at the Pledge Manager and get access to everything.
Cool. So
Um,
would they ship on the same time then?
yes, everything. Once
Cool.
we get, basically, we're kind of sort of splitting it in between two. So they'll all come together. Pledge Manager will go out to everybody at the same time. Logistically and admin for us, it's more work,
Hmm. But
but we get to deliver Wrathborn as we intended,
sure.
not half baked
Mm.
and missing things. So there's a lot of special characters that we've got designed that we can't do that will be coming in Indiegogo in February, and then everybody will get it. The only thing that will be different is the backers will get all of their stuff, then retailers will get theirs after that, and then we'll go to retail ourselves.
Sure.
So that's the plan. Um, let's see if this works.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. So I guess on an upside for anyone that's watching this who's a bit short of cash, because we all know, people are going to hate me for saying this. I know Christmas is coming.
It is coming.
It's coming, so maybe
Two
people.
mince pies today in the
I,
Tesco store.
yeah, Christmas
I'm down
card.
to two mince pies too.
Yeah,
It's like it's not even Halloween yet.
yeah, what? Yeah, why does Halloween and the Guy Fawkes not get precedence over that before that happens? Because they put all the Christmas stuff up, and then they have to take it all down for Halloween to go back up, and then to put all the yeah, it's just bonkers. Why don't you just wait till Halloween's done? Um, but if you're a bit short for cash right now, um, wait till February and then go in on the Indiegogo campaign, and you effectively have a second chance.
Yeah,
Um, and also anyone that's on the Kickstarter as well, you don't have to worry too much, because if there's something there which doesn't get unlocked, the Indiegogo guys effectively will unlock it for you.
yeah.
So when you get to there, because I imagine at the pledge manager, you just throw more money at it if you want more stuff at the end of the day,
I
and
mean,
then
we've all done mass amounts of Kickstarters and Indiegogos now, so
yeah. So
yeah, it's not a system.
yeah, it's nothing to really worry about. So I like that concept, because I was a little bit like, it'd be kind of like the Jade Empire, the ones I want. So if they don't get unlocked, I'll be a bit like, yeah, those are the guys I'm after. However, it's kind of some reassurances that yeah, you're going to get it. It's just you probably have to wait till the campaign before you see maybe more renders and stuff like that of what you're
I
going
think,
after.
well, to be fair, I think by the time we hit February for Indiegogo, everything that we want sculpted will be sculpted. Um,
Cool.
so we've got a lot of base stuff sculpted at the moment that we're not really ready to show. So, you know, by the time February comes along, Dan will have worked his magic on a lot of the first things anyway. So we'll either have an art asset anyway, or a render, or an actual print. So we'll be well and truly into the production by that stage.
Sure. So, I can't wait for this at the end of the day. If you really are chomping at the bit and you can't really wait, because where I saw that you're looking to deliver in February 2020, something like that. Is that right?
Yes. I think that's more so we don't
estimate too soon.
Yeah. The original plan was for October next year. We've pushed that back to the February, so we will aim to have everything by the end of next year, but we have that an additional couple of months because there's always going to be something going wrong. We learned that after the first one. There's, you know, Murphy's Law will always bite you in the ass at some stage. Doesn't matter how good the plan is, something will go tits up.
Yeah. So it's going to be a bit of a while if you're waiting for the minis. However, if you're interested in the RPG range, which I strongly suggest you do because some of those minis are awesome, they are coming out of pre-order and coming out to release soon-ish.
Yeah, very soon. We haven't got a confirmed date yet, but I would imagine it'll be short.
You're just waiting on delivering all the Kickstarter stuff first.
Yeah, I think there's like maybe a handful left to go. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Once we can't put it on the retail until all the backers have got their toys, basically.
Which is nice to see an honourable thing like that, because a lot of the times you see Kickstarters, Prodos, I'm just throwing it out there, that was a sham where they're like, oh, it's in the shops. You guys are going to have to wait to get yours.
I've got a friend that's actually still hasn't received his Wave 1 stuff. Years after, and I think he's just run it off now as a loss.
Unfortunately, a lot of people are in the similar state with that as well. I'm relatively lucky because they ballsed up and they sent my order twice. So, but I did have to pay for postage again, which was But I was like, okay, well that teaches them. So, but it's nice.
I would have loved to have got my hands on it. I love aliens and planets, but I refuse point blank to give them my money.
It's a shame when a company has that kind of tarnish, because I'm sure Prodos would be a much larger company right now if they didn't have that tarnish, because I'm sure there's a good majority of the wargaming industry remember AVP, remember what happened with it, and it's not gonna go away. Not for, especially since they've released the second edition of the game, and some people have first edition. Again, bonkers. But it's nice to see that you guys are honouring the backers first before saying, well, everyone else have at it.
Well, at the end of the day, we're war gamers. We're hobbyists, just like our customers are. And we've both done these platforms ourselves. We've both been stung from backing projects that have not, gone the way we expected. So what we strive to make sure we deliver top quality miniatures as well as a good customer service with that as well.
Sure.
So it's something that we the company's based on, and that's what we want to continue doing.
That's cool.
Because at the end of the day, we're not businessmen. We're nerds like everyone else.
At the end of the day, you've got to have respect, and if you've got the respect, then you're onto a winner already. So, I'm hoping as well as if I can wrangle you guys to come over to ChillCon at some point as well.
If the Kickstarter wasn't next week, we would have been at the last one.
Sure.
That we planned and tried, but it's so close to the Kickstarter that we couldn't.
Sure.
I think the next one's in March, isn't it?
Yep, March 23rd.
My 40th is a couple of days before it, so we'll see. If not, I'll done on his own.
Yeah, no worries. It's as I said, it seems to be two running a year now, so there's always one in September as well. So, which is cool. So, I was just reading. Peter Higgins, count me in. I was going to ask if you are giving yourselves too much with these releases, and then the D&D style minis, plus growing an underground set of rules expansions for Wrathborn. But obviously, it says because of the time frame that you have and you've allowed it, that you can effectively get it in that sort of time.
Yeah. It's the RPG Kickstarter we'll do next year. That will have no real effect on Wrathborn, because by the time we launch that, the bulk of Wrathborn's production, if not all of Wrathborn's production, should be pretty much done, and it's basically in the hands of the casters at that stage.
Yeah.
I have my deadlines for the book of when we need to get that off to the printers, and so that's not. And I have nothing really to do with the RPG stuff in a design way, because that's Dan's babies.
Sure. That allows you time to come up with new stuff.
Yes. Speaking of new stuff, we hope possibly, if we can get everything right, we will have a reveal at the UK Games Expo of something that will be coming in Wrathborn's next chapter.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that's what we're hoping. We may push it back to later on, but we want the Kickstarter to be the starting point. And we don't want to be like other companies where you don't hear anything from us for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, sure.
We've got a lot of ideas and a lot of things we want to do with the game, and we want to share that with you guys.
Yeah.
So there's lots coming.
Yeah. As I said, ever since I saw these guys, saw it at the UK Games Expo, I've kind of been chatting with you on and off for since then. Got you on the show. It's nice catching up with you at the expo, and it's something which has had such a natural impact on me, which it's not been. You get the itch to buy models. I get it. Everyone gets it. You're like, oh, I like that. I like it. This one has been a case of I just have to have that. There's none of that GW rush where they release a box set and you're like, oh, that's really shiny. A week later, you're like, yeah, a bit bored of it now. This has just been like, yeah, I've got to get that. And I'll keep on eyeing up the RPG range, and I'm like, just wait until they come out of pre-order, then I might just do one gigantic order and get them all in or something like that. So it's something so nice to see and be sort of a part of, in a way, just to say, yeah, it's cool seeing a company growing like this, and something I'm generally really, really happy about. There's similar companies out there, a bit like Atlantis Miniatures. I recently see all their stuff, and yeah, that stuff's incredible as well. There's a lot of mini companies which are small, which are producing massive, like really good quality stuff like yours, and I can't get on board with them enough, to be fair. GW, their own thing, that like everyone loves their passion and everything like that. They've got their games. I still play games with their stuff, but this stuff is definitely like, this is a new era of like awesome models from awesome companies coming up, and I'm just hoping that these become rivals of GW, not to put anything down against GW, to give them competition as well, and go, you guys aren't the only ones out there that can do amazing minis, so there are other people.
Yeah, I think we definitely come out the shadows at the expo. Obviously, we getting voted and shortlisted for the best miniatures.
Yeah.
And you know, we were definitely noticed by the larger companies, because we had them come into our stand all weekend looking at what we were doing. So it's nice to get that feedback from the industry, and that validation from other people from the industry, and that we are doing something really good, and that it isn't just another indie company that's producing stuff that'll be forgotten in a week. It is nice that the feedback is so positive, and it fuels the pair of us to just try to make cooler stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of have to ring myself in because some of the things we come up with, we can't physically do. It's going to be nuts, but we'd like to push our boundaries.
Yeah, it's awesome seeing it happen. To be fair, I can't praise it enough. Yeah, just keep on doing what you're doing, and I will keep on buying minis. So, and I'm hoping other people will see this as well. As you say, everyone tries to make cool things at the end of the day, and that I don't. I'm just going to cut to the core of it. Everyone just wants to make cool things. Yeah, you could put a lot of fluff and decorate up, but everyone just wants to make something cool at the end of the day. So yeah, definitely you guys have succeeded on my part already, but I've just got to try and convince the rest of the world to get in on it and tell them about it. So yeah. But I think we're coming towards the end of the show. We've run for about an hour now, so just over. Is there anything you wanted to divulge, tell the audience, or anything before we head off on away, Sams?
No, I think we've pretty much covered it, apart from backers 8 o'clock Tuesday.
Yes, 8 o'clock Tuesday, Kickstarter, British time. Is it GMT right now or BST?
GMT.
BMT.
Mean time.
Yeah.
British mean time. I don't know. They keep changing it.
Yeah.
8 o'clock next week.
8 o'clock British time.
Yeah.
British time. Yeah, we say that. I'm going to be there trying to get on my early bird as quick as I can. I suggest you do the same as well. I think that's about it from me. And yeah, it's been to be fair, Rick, it's been awesome having you on again. I'm hoping we can run another show at some point during the Kickstarter, possibly towards the end.
That'll be good. I can't promise the state of me.
No.
I may not have slept 3 weeks, but yeah.
That's fine. I am going to try and bribe or trick Dan to come on as well, some way or another.
Whiskey. He normally does things with whiskey.
I will try to pass some whiskey through the internet to him somehow, but we'll see. So yeah, that's it from me. That's it from Rick, and yeah, join us on Tuesday for the start of the Kickstarter. Obviously, we're not doing the show, but we'll be there in spirit. That works. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Chilling Wargamers will be back at some point soon. If not, you'll probably see me on Wargame Online on Monday for the ChillCon wrap-up video, where all the other painters that were at ChillCon get to talk about stuff and how Moggy nearly killed us all with atomizing Tamiya Clear Red. Yeah. So yeah. I'll see you guys probably Monday, and if not, hopefully you'll be along to the Kickstarter on Tuesday. So until then, everyone have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.